What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the first Vegan Black Metal Chef live stream. Of course, this is Brian Metal. It's the Vegan Black Metal Chef in my mortal form. And I'm alive, yes, says Fishy Smith 37. Whoa, this is exciting. Hell yeah. All right, well, let's get some music started. So today, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna learn how to make some tofu stir-fried with lemongrass and chili and talk about how to do veganism cheaply. So, nice to see you. How's it going? Nice to see you too. I've been working on some new music. I'll talk about that in just a little bit. Yes, what's going to be happening? Excited either way though. We're gonna be making some tofu stir-fried with lemongrass and chili. So let's go ahead and take a look at our ingredients. And I'm gonna pull this camera aside. Actually, no, I'm not, because it's not on battery power anymore. I have it plugged in. So we're gonna use this camera right here. So we're gonna talk about our ingredients for a second. We have, split the screen for you there. We have some garlic and some lemongrass and some chilies, which you can barely see there. Get some light on it. Garlic, some lemongrass, and some fresh chilies. We have some broccoli and some onions. We have some tofu that's pressing underneath this tofu press. And so this tofu press is just a plate with some paper towels and some corn oil on top to kind of press the water out. And the tofu is between these paper towels. We have some sesame oil. We have some vegetable broth. We've got two different types of vegetable broth. Some other little things. This is lemongrass, for those of you that don't know. And some sugar. So, and we have some rice that has already been cooking. So just put the rice in the rice cooker. This is jasmine rice. The rice does matter, so you're gonna wanna use an Asian-y rice for this, like jasmine or Calrose rice or something of that nature. And yeah, welcome to the first live stream. This is probably gonna be an absolute cluster, and but we'll see what happens. We've got this pot heating up, and we're gonna let that heat up for a second. And whenever we make kind of an Asian-y dish like this, we're gonna separate the sauce that we're gonna make, the lemongrass sauce, from cooking the vegetables in our pot, and our rice or noodles are another pot. So we want to do things kind of separately. Why no raspy voice? Because if I talked like this the whole time, it would get old very fast. But maybe a mixture. Greetings from Mexico. What's going on? All right, so we got this heating up. We're going to toss some water into our boiling cauldron. We're also going to talk a little bit about how to do veganism cheaply. Really, there's not really any secret behind it, but we're gonna talk a little bit about the principles of that. I'm gonna start doing live streaming a whole lot more, and I'm gonna have different guests on here. Basically, we're gonna learn how to cook a meal and talk about some kind of topic that I think y'all would be interested in. And you all can let me know some topics that you want to talk about. And will this be a recurring thing? Steven, yes, as I just said, we're going to be doing this all the time. Okay, so we have some water boiling here, or it's about to be boiling. And we're going to add some vegetable broth to it. Now, here's some vegetable broth that that you can barely see. Let me go ahead and try to focus on that. So here's some vegetable broth that you can find in the Asian store. There's an entire aisle of these things. So if there's an entire aisle of little broth cubes like that, does that mean someone uses it? And the answer is yes. Yes, people do use it. So you can use these, you can use any good liquid vegetable broth that you have. You can use, here's another one. Here's another vegetable broth. You find this in the Asian store called mushroom seasoning. And I think the swastikas mean something else to them. But yeah, it's just some mushroom seasoning. And this one doesn't have MSG in it, for those of you that care about that. This one does. We'll be using MSG and a mixture. You can mix them too, doesn't matter. Where do we buy those spiky cutlery and bowls? They are made by the finest artisans in hell, Tyler. So no luck on that. So let's go ahead and add one of these little vegetable broth things to there. And these little vegetable broth cubes, these packages of 4 cubes are usually like 75 cents or 50 cents or something like that. So they're really cheap, and basically it'll last you for 4 meals, or for 4 dishes that might make a whole lot of meals. We've got, let's just go ahead and mix some of these vegetable broths, because why not? Don't want to go too crazy with it because we don't want it to be too salty, but let's go ahead and mix it. Let's add some sugar, because we're just gonna add a little bit of sugar to this, so some sugar in the raw. And let's add a little bit of soy sauce. And let's go ahead and add some of the other flavorings. So, of course, since this is tofu stir-fried with lemongrass and chili, 2 of the flavorings are going to be lemongrass and chili. And so I'll add these real quick, but I'll show you what I'm doing. That was the lemongrass. And this is a stalk of lemongrass. You're gonna find this at the Asian stores. And basically you're gonna take this, and it's got kind of a harder woody end over here, and you cut that off. And then you take off a couple of these outer layers because they're kind of harder, and you basically just don't want to be eating twigs, even though that's all people think vegans eat. And so you cut this end off. Just go ahead and do that. This knife right here. And then we're gonna just slice these into little circles. And like we did here. So you slice it into little circles and just toss it in. And as the water boils, it will flavor everything with the lemongrass flavor. Rough quantities that I'm adding, BC Echo News. This is about 1 stalk of lemongrass that I've added here. I added what, 1 cube of the vegetable broth, and I added just a little bit of the other vegetable broth just to mix it, because why not? And yeah, other than that, I think that's all I've added so far. I'm gonna go ahead and add the chilies. Now, you can use chili oil with this. Instead of fresh chilies, this is a fresh Thai chili. They come in red or green. Does not matter which, they're both the same. And they'll both come usually intermixed with the same packages. Oh yeah, and the sugar. I added some sugar. I don't know. What did I add? I added a rough pour into there. I just get some sugar in there. Don't freak out. Don't clog your mind with exact quantities of everything. You can rewind this and watch the video later if you want to see roughly how much I added. Just get some sugar in there. If I added a little bit more or a little bit less, it's not going to matter. So with the fresh chilies, we're going to just cut these into little slices and just get some chili in there. If you use chili oil, use the chili oil that has like the pieces of chilies in there, or you can mix some chili oil in here. Whatever you end up preferring. We're gonna get that boiling. We had, yes, the raw sugar, but reading the comments. All right, so we're going to get some garlic and ginger in here. Just a few cloves of garlic. It doesn't really matter, but I've got 6 cloves here. And we're just gonna grate some in there. Now you can grate the garlic, you can chop it up, you can put it through a garlic press. It does not matter to me. Just get some garlic in there. It's not that complicated. No thickening agent. Karen, so no, there's not gonna be a thickening agent, but it is gonna become thicker. And you're gonna see that as the water boils and it kind of boils down a little bit, that's when we're gonna sort of know our sauce is done, is when it becomes thicker and there's sort of an obvious state change to it. So the sugar and the other spices in and of themselves are gonna be sort of a thickening agent, but not really. I mean, we have to boil down everything first. So we're just getting the garlic in there. Getting the ginger in there. So how to do veganism cheaply. The first tip I would give is find the place near you that has the cheap vegetables. Almost everywhere I've lived and almost everywhere that I've been, there's either some kind of farmer market store, or in Los Angeles, I would say the main one is the 99 cents only store. But other swap meets or flea markets or farmers markets, they have really cheap vegetables. The really cheap vegetables are not typically found in the regular grocery store. So look for now the really cheap vegetables are sometimes the ones that look a little, not malformed, but they look more natural. Everything in the grocery store looks like this perfect thing in the United States, and they think that people won't buy things that don't look like this perfect thing. And so that's the first tip I would give is, of course, find a place where the cheap vegetables are, because that's going to be sort of the main consistent cost. We have, what am I listening to? Or a Finelia. What have I been listening to? I've been on a Merkur kick lately. Who here likes Merkur? M-Y-R-K-U-R. It's a one-woman sort of black metal project. It started off a little bit more that way, but then it's kind of just got a lot of folky aspects, and I'm grating some ginger in there now. And for those of you that have never cooked with fresh ginger, is you're gonna take a piece of the ginger and just cut off a little nub of the ginger, and just take a knife and cut away all these brown spots. So let me show you that. Or cut away all the outer skin. So you just cut off a piece and you just kind of shave away the outer parts, and then you just grate about an inch or so in there. Rob says Merker's awesome. Karen says it's hard to buy in bulk and use in time though. So that's the thing. So you're gonna like, you don't have to buy ridiculously huge quantities of vegetables and hard to use in time. If you plan out a little bit of saying, hey, I kind of want to make this dish, I kind of want to make that dish, then you'll plan out a little bit of what you need, and you're gonna waste a little bit no matter what in life. I mean, just give up the struggle of attempting absolute perfect efficiency with using the vegetables. And if you get them cheaply enough, then you're gonna waste a little bit, but it's not gonna be that big of a deal. Go ahead and get this. So there, we've got the broth going. Let me go ahead and can't see anything with that. Let me get this at a better angle. Larika, thanks a ton. Larika, appreciate it, longtime fan. Where do you get knives that decorative that actually cut? Again, they're made by the finest artisans in hell. Absolutely cannot be found on the internet. So we got that. We got this boiling. So we're gonna leave this boiling. You can reduce the heat if it's boiling too hot. In my dungeon, my things to heat stuff kind of suck. So I'm gonna leave it on high for now. Let's go ahead and look at the tofu. So I've had this tofu pressing, and as long as this is the first things that you're gonna do when you make this dish is you're gonna put the rice up, because that just cooks itself, either in a rice cooker or in a pot, it doesn't matter. And you're gonna press the tofu. You're gonna press the water out of the tofu. So you put a layer of paper towels down, then you put the tofu on top. Watch episode 1 if you don't know how to press the tofu. And you put some more paper towels on top, and you put some heavy things on it, like this oil. And while you do everything else, it just presses the water out. So these paper towels are wet and sopping. So all the water is, most of the water's pressed out. So we're gonna be sauteing our vegetables, and we're gonna fry the tofu. If you don't have a deep fryer, it doesn't matter. You can either use a pot on the stove, or you can just pan fry things for this. The deep frying of the tofu is not gonna make or break it. I'm just gonna do it because it's faster and it's easier, and it's pretty quick to do these things. So I'm gonna plug my deep fryer in. So we talked a little bit about finding the place near you that has the cheap vegetables, be it the Aldi, be it the, when I lived in Orlando, Florida, there were just these random little farmers market stores that will be the ones that have all the cheap vegetables. And I mean, you're kind of helping the environment in a sense that a lot of these will be thrown away because they may not look exactly perfect, or other grocery stores just wouldn't think that people would buy them. So they sell them for really cheap, and they're really good. So, so get over it that they look a little more normal. If you want to saute the tofu with this, just do that first. You're gonna want to saute it really well, or deep fry it. So we're gonna go over here. To our pan to saute the vegetables. Lord Maxwell says, don't forget to press the like button. Hell yeah. Good morning from Sweden. What's going on, John? Would this dish take 15 minutes to finish if you weren't teaching us? Yeah, everything takes way longer to show you how to cook it than to actually just do it. If I was doing this without teaching you and without attempting to turn on the air conditioning here because it's getting hot, if I wasn't attempting to teach you at the same time, then as I'm pressing the tofu, I'm starting the water boiling for the sauce. You just get the things in there while then you just chop the vegetables. And then this pan is heating up and we're gonna toss some canola oil in there. Get a good amount in there. And we're gonna saute the vegetables. The vegetables in this case, we're really just gonna use some broccoli and onion. Doesn't have to be complicated. You can use whatever you want. More doesn't mean better. So you can use some carrots in here, I don't care. You can use some cauliflower. You can use whatever vegetables you want. Just more isn't better. Pick 2 or 3 and go with that. Quentin Turner says, found your channel about a month ago and have already made half your dishes. Oh yeah. Upset to see that you didn't upload as much that you used to, but this is a great surprise. Yeah, so a little backstory on that. I just recently moved. I've moved several times here in Los Angeles, and I used to make all of my videos at my place back in Orlando, Florida. And Los Angeles space is definitely more of a premium, and it's harder to set something up like this. And so I got really lucky in a sense that, and fortunate that I was able to get this place by myself and set this up so that I can start doing just a whole lot more videos kind of whenever I want. I had a lot of other time and other restrictions in other places. I had a lot of traveling, which still gonna be doing the later half of this year. A lot of traveling, doing lots of live cooking demonstrations at different places. For those of you gonna be at Vakken Open Air, I'll see you all there. This is gonna be one of the dishes actually that I'm gonna be making there. So, yeah, so for a while, it was rough to get any kind of consistency with the uploads. Just had a lot of other things going on. Working on a lot of music, and sometimes, especially with music production, you just put an incredible amount of time into it for hopefully a little gain. So we'll see what comes out of that. But yeah, this is going to be a very frequent thing. I'm going to be uploading much more frequently, being able to do the live streams, having guests, everything. So thanks for sticking with me for these 7 years. I think it's been 7 years since the first video, and that's absolutely ridiculous and kind of mind-blowing to me. So thanks for sticking with me, and welcome to the ones that are new. Dahlia, thanks a ton for the compliment. Hail Satan. Does he died? And absolutely, no problem, Quentin. So the next aspect about veganism kind of cheaply or as inexpensively as possible. So the purpose, of course, isn't just to eat for as cheap as possible. I mean, if you wanted to do that and you wanted to just eat a bunch of garbage that or stuff that you wouldn't want it to, it might not be good, actually it might be very healthy for you, but stuff that might not taste good, you want to eat really well for really cheaply. I got this broccoli at the 99 cents only store, and I think this is about $1 or $1 or so's worth of broccoli, maybe slightly more. And onions, I think I got at a farmer's market across the street just because it was going on. And it's about $1 or so, like for a bag of onions. But sometimes we're gonna need some convenience food too, because we don't all have all the time in the world. I don't have all the time in the world just to cook non-stop, and I like convenience food too. So the more you get into like the vegan meats and vegan dairies in the store, liberate yourself to buy some of that. But if that's your focus, if that's all that you eat, then it's gonna be pricier. The more analog sort of meat and dairy stuff that you get, that you don't make, that's convenience, it's gonna be pricier. My favorite convenience food is probably bean burritos. Just frozen bean burritos. Either you get them frozen in the grocery store, or you can get them, just get them from a Taco Bell, get them from a Del Taco. The bean burritos without the cheese are vegan, and just throw them in the freezer. Put them in a Tupperware, throw them in the freezer, and you've got some really cool convenience food. One other way to make things more convenient is that when you do have time, you want to prep some meals that last several meals. Now, almost all the meals that I make last a whole lot of meals, but you can take some specific time and prep some things that reheat well or freeze well, and just make your own. Of course, you can eat plenty of vegan meats and things that if you make your own seitan, make your own chicken style seitan, tofu, jackfruit, all sorts of things can be really cheap, and we'll get into all that over time. Whoa, thanks a ton. I guess my first donation, T-Ninja, thanks a ton. I really appreciate it. Linda says, hi from Denmark, you rock. What's your favorite black metal band? Man, I mean, I rotate out bands. I mean, I listen to a lot of stuff. I guess Dimmu Borgir has always been on pretty constant rotation for me, and if you listen to my music, for the vegan black metal chef stuff, that's probably the most obvious influence. I heard that Immortal came out with a new album. I haven't heard it yet. I did hear the new Dimmu. It took me a little while to get into it, but I do enjoy it in the end. I'm really looking forward to the new Immortal because I've heard that it's really good. But yeah, that's so my favorite bands. But as I said, I'm on kind of a Merker kick right now. I've been on a Merker and Wolves in the Throne Room kick since they played together not too long ago. Let me grab a strainer for this tofu. So I'm gonna put this tofu in the deep fryer. Oil should be heated up. Or should be good, and I hear it sizzling, so we're gonna drop that in there. Now, for those of you that haven't seen Wolves in the Throne Room live, then you're missing out on something, honestly. It's like, they're They're absolutely incredible live. Like one of those sort of religious experience bands that just gets you into a crazy trance that's just absolutely incredible. Good to see that Misfits share, considering Doyle is vegan. Hell yeah, I love the Misfits. It's cool as hell that Doyle is vegan, and yeah, Misfits have been just absolutely incredible for a really long time. One of the best black metal bands is Evil Feast. I'll have to check that out. Always be a Stormblast girl. Mercury, yes, she's Danish. R.I.P. Vinnie Paul. That is absolute tragic loss to the metal community. I don't know, it happened 2 days ago or a couple days ago. But yeah, Vinnie Paul, drummer of Pantera, has passed away. As far as I know, they haven't really released details on that, so I don't know what happened or why. But man, him and Dimebag, that really sucks. I'm actually a huge Pantera fan, even though I don't really like a lot of the bands that sound like Pantera. I own every Pantera album, so yeah, no, that's absolute tragedy with his death. Right about now, I'm gonna turn down the heat or turn off the heat to the sauce. So someone asked before about a thickening agent, and there's no thickening agent needed. The sauce, as you see, has kind of had like this state change, and you don't want to burn it. I might add just a tiny bit more water to it because it looks pretty concentrated, but that's okay. You want it to be pretty concentrated. I'm gonna add just a tiny bit more water to make it more liquidy. And so the sauce is basically done. We've got the broccoli and onion sauteing over here. And for those of you that weren't here in the beginning, you can check out the how we made the lemongrass broth. So I plan on leaving these up on YouTube for maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, and then I'm going to archive them on the Patreon so that the YouTube channel doesn't just get utterly cluttered. And you can access them on the Patreon for only $1 a month, as little as $1 a month. Robert says, I haven't seen Wolves on the Throne live, fortunately, but I dig their albums. Yes, and you can definitely see the change and the light. Or the darkness and the light. All right, so these broccoli and onions are stir frying. And the tofu is frying. Go ahead and make that bigger. Fry the tofu, but do not make them taste like grizzle. And one thing you can add is some explosions. So that really gets things done faster, is if you just drop some bombs and some explosions on the tofu. All right, I'm gonna take tofu out of the deep fryer. And let that drain on a paper towel. Now, it's pretty much done. You can see that the tofu is getting kind of golden brown. We can leave that in for just another second, actually. So that the tofu is pretty well fried, but is not like gristle. Oh yeah, and Enslaved also played with Merker and Wolves in the Throne Room. And yeah, that was absolutely incredible. I've seen Enslaved a few times live as well. All right, this broccoli is looking somewhat done. Just gonna let that saute for just a couple more, 2 more minutes. We're gonna add our tofu. We're gonna add the sauce, and this dish will be done. And we'll just chat a bit. So one other thing that's gonna make veganism cheaper for you is that you're gonna get the economy of scale out of these spices. When you go grocery shopping, it seems like you might be spending a lot of money on when you buy some sugar, when you buy some different spices, when you buy some sesame oil. But these ingredients, of course, are gonna last a really long time. I have a few things to show you guys that you might not have seen. This is fried garlic. You can get this in the Asian store. It's about $4 or $5. And it's just like little pieces, and they last a really long time. And so if you don't feel like peeling garlic, then you can just take a small handful of this and just throw it in there. And it adds a really good garlic flavor and kind of seeps all throughout. This is some fried red onion, kind of the same sort of thing. And you can just do that. All right, let's go ahead and add our tofu to this. In the deep fryer. And then we're gonna add our sauce. And when you add everything kind of quickly at the end, if I were to cook it, if I didn't separate this out, and that's kind of the main thing with this is you want to separate out all of the like the sauce and the different ingredients and other things so you can control them better. And also, if I were to saute the vegetables in the sauce, then the salt in the sauce would kind of make them all wilted. They wouldn't be crisp. It would make the vegetables too salty and kind of weird and just not as good as you want it to be. I'm gonna add just a little bit of sesame oil at the end. You could have added this to the sauce in the middle. It doesn't really matter. But we're gonna get some sesame oil in there. And so that's kind of is the methods in all of these dishes that we're gonna make, and all the dishes in, of course, the Satanic Spellbook. The method is the it. Of course, you can find all of these dishes in the Satanic Spellbook. This one is in the Asian Oracle of Inspiration, and you just scan the QR code to see a video of it. More concise video than this one. Black Metal Food Rules. Our Black Metal with Food Rules. Thanks a ton, much appreciated. Thy Primordial. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that. Is that a band? Is that a song that I'm missing? Where's the best place to get your book? Meaning you get most of my money. Actually, like I think Amazon has the cheapest books. For you guys, I get about the same no matter where you get it. If you can get it at a local place, like Herbivore in Portland or Austin's Coffee in Orlando or a few other places, then get it from them or request your local place to contact me to get it. Support the local places, but otherwise Amazon or veganblackmetalchef.com. I think it's a little cheaper on Amazon, at like $1 or so with the shipping, and there's more options on veganblackmetalchef.com. What's the background music? Yeah, that's all my music. So that's the music that I write for the Vegan Black Metal Chef show or episodes, and I write all the music for that, and I hand play all the instruments except for the drums because I'm not that good at drums. And but yeah. So figured it's just my stuff in the background. I love my hair. Thanks a ton. Let's go ahead and get this in a bowl. So we're gonna take some rice. And tofu with the vegetables and chilies. And there you have it, people. It's just that easy. This does not take very long to make. As you can see, for the meals that I eat, this would make about 2 or 3 size meals, depending on how much tofu I use. That was about half a package. That would maybe be 2 meals. If I use maybe 3/4 of a package, maybe that would be about 3 meals. Rose said the Satanic Spellbook is the book title. Yes, this is my cookbook, for those of you all that don't know. The Satanic Spellbook. And of course it's in here. Bradley says, one of these days you should do some guest spots with black metal musicians. I'd love to see you cook with Ishan. That would be absolutely awesome. I would love to cook with Ishan. Ishan, if you're watching now, which I don't know him personally. Saw you at Wacken last year, was absolutely awesome. But yeah, if you ever wanted to cook, this is an open invitation to you. And but yeah, no, I'm gonna have a ton of guests in the future. Thanks a ton for being part of the first live stream. Again, I'm gonna leave this up for about a week or 2 weeks, and then it'll be archived on the Patreon, patreon.com/veganblackmetalchef. Thanks a ton for everyone that's showing up in the future. I'm gonna be doing this a ton, so come hang out. Sometimes I'll cook, sometimes we'll eat, sometimes we'll do both, and sometimes we'll do all sorts of things, so you never know what's gonna happen. All right, appreciate y'all coming out, and I'll see y'all next time.